Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No. I am your father.
Welcome back to the channel. This is Wes, and this is my final Marvel Comics video for New York City Comic Con, and it's the announcement of the new Star Wars reboot with Charles Soule as the writer. I think this is great news, and I couldn't be more excited. Charles Soule wrote the last great Star Wars series at Marvel Comics with Vader, and he's the perfect choice to relaunch the Star Wars series in my opinion. First, I'm going to cover the CBR.com article that goes over all the details. Then I'm going to give my thoughts on Star Wars at Marvel Comics and the current state of it right now, and quite frankly why I don't like it and why I don't really read any of them. Then I'm going to go over the creators, talk about Charles Soule and what I like about him, and then I'm going to talk about the new artist, Jesus Saiz, and what I think he brings to the table. And after that, I had a conversation this weekend with my good friend Dylan from TheRealComicBookGmaer talking about this very series and his thoughts. He's a huge Star Wars fan. He has a lot of Star Wars content on his channel, and I think you're all going to want to hear his thoughts on the new Star Wars from Marvel Comics. Now, let's get to the article. At New York Comic Con, it was announced that Marvel will launch its ongoing Star Wars series in January 2020 under writer Charles Soule and artist Jesus Saiz. Soule says his run will address some of the untold stories between the events of The Empire Strikes Back and The Return of the Jedi, such as how did Luke go from being a miserable dude with his hand cut off to being that black uniform badass who waltzes into Jabba's palace with his hood up? How does the rebellion go from this ragtag scattered group that lost at Hoth to the hugely mobilized massive fleet that takes on the Death Star 2? And how is the mission to save Han planned? The idea that I get to leap into answering some of those questions, it's just not an incredible opportunity, it's a responsibility, Soule added. So much happens in Empire, and everyone seems to be in this totally different, reset place at the beginning of Jedi. In August, it was revealed that Marvel's current ongoing Star Wars series would end in November with issue 75. The remaining plot threads would then be wrapped up in December in Star Wars Empire Ascendant #1, an oversized one-shot by Soule, Greg Pak, Simon Spurrier, and Ethan Sachs, and featuring a lineup of artistic talents including Luke Ross and Roland Boshi. The Empire struck back, and they are very much ascended at this point, and the rebellion is back on its heels, Soule continued. They've lost allies, they've lost material, they've lost ships, they've lost people, and what are they gonna do? I guess you'll have to read the series. I think a lot of you know this already, but I am an enormous Star Wars fan, and it sucks being a comic reader not having any Star Wars comics to read. This is the perfect crossover of things I should be the most interested in, but Marvel Comics have just been abysmal with their Star Wars content the last year or two. And the last series that they had that was good was Charles Soule's Vader run. It was fantastic. It's one of my personal favorite comic stories I've ever read, and I was very disappointed when it ended. And the follow-up Vader Dark Vision series, and I don't even know what the one is going on right now, they have just been terrible. And Marvel knows that their Star Wars comics are terrible. That's why they just pump out all these #1 issues. They don't want to do anything ongoing because they know that they have missed the mark so badly that there's no buy-in from the audience. I'm sure there are a few Star Wars fans that still go in on the Marvel material because they just love Star Wars that much, but everyone knows Marvel's current take on Star Wars is an absolute joke, and it's not really worth investing your time in. And that's why you've seen this constant rotation of third and fourth rate writing talent just pumping through Star Wars, just throwing out titles, never trying to make anything definitive, never trying to make anything great, never trying to make anything that resonates with fans, because Marvel knows they've already lost the fans. And they really need to make an effort to bring them back because Star Wars should be one of their biggest franchises within their comic publishing division. And yes, Marvel does pump in some of their top quality writers like Kieran Gillen and Charles Soule from time to time, but as a reader, I know not to go and invest in that because I know they're not going to stick around because that's not how Marvel has been managing the property. So I personally couldn't be more excited that they're bringing Charles Soule back, they're throwing him on the flagship title, and they're giving him a great artist. And Charles Soule working with the time frame in between Empire Strikes Back and The Return of the Jedi is fantastic. There's so many great stories and so much material to work with that readers are really going to love. I'm personally not interested in any of the stuff that leads up to the sequel trilogy. That's been a complete abomination in my opinion. I don't want to read any of those comics. but you throw a comic right in there between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and I'm going to go all in because these are the time frames and these are the characters that I really love. I want to see Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Princess Leia, Chewie, Lando Calrissian, C-3PO, R2-D2. I want to see all the characters I love in great adventure stories, and this is the perfect time frame to put them in because there's so many great stories to tell. And just like Charles Soule said, the characters that end in Empire Strikes Back and the characters that we see in Return of the Jedi, they're the same characters, but they're very changed. So there's so much opportunity for character growth and to fill in the blanks and create great stories right in there. And I think Charles Soule is the perfect writer because his work on Vader was perfect. It was flawless. It was great. If you haven't read Charles Soule's Vader series, go read it now. You're missing out if you're a Star Wars fan, and you're going to love it. And the guy is just a quality writer. He is a consummate professional, and you know when you see Charles Soule's name on a title that it's going to be quality, or at least most of the time, because I will admit his Return of Wolverine kind of sucked. I'm sure the editorial and Marvel management had something to do with that. But otherwise, everything I've actually read from Charles Soule has been really good to great, and I couldn't be more excited for him to be on the title. Now, Jesus Saiz is a bit more of a wild card for me. I looked up his profile on comicbookdb.com, and he has a lot of credits, but his name doesn't just really resonate with me. I don't remember anything that I've read with his art on it. But when I saw his preview art for his work in the upcoming Star Wars series, there were great visuals from Luke getting his hand cut off by Darth Vader and falling from Cloud City before being rescued by Princess Leia. So I can't say based on past experience, I think this guy's art is going to be great on Star Wars, but I can say based on what I see right now, his art is going to be phenomenal. He looks like the perfect choice for a Star Wars artist at Marvel to really reinvigorate fans and generate interest and really hit that nostalgia factor by bringing back these great characters with these great scenes, and they all look perfect. They look like they're straight from the movie, and I think that's what people want. They want things that resonate with the movies and remind them of better days in Star Wars, because really, right now, Star Wars is in a terrible place as far as the toys, as far as the movies. Apparently, even the theme park isn't doing very well. So I think people are ready for a better Star Wars and Marvel comics. Charles Soule and Jesus Saiz are going to bring the heat on the new Star Wars title, and honestly, I'm even more excited about the new Star Wars than I am Wolverine or Thor, and I'm very excited about both of those titles. What do you think about the new Star Wars title being rebooted with Charles Soule and Jesus Saiz? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And now let's hear from my good friend Dylan from the Real Comic Book Gamer YouTube and what he thinks about Marvel's new Star Wars comic reboot. All right, so the last topic, this is the Real Comic Book Gamer topic if I've ever read one. At New York City Comic Con, it was announced that Marvel will relaunch its ongoing Star Wars series in January 2020 with writer Charles Soule and artist Jesus Saiz. What do you think about that?
I'm excited about it. They're doing a new time. So when they first got when Disney got the rights and they started publishing Star Wars comics again under Marvel, it started with Jason Aaron, and it was after A New Hope. So in between Empire Strikes Back and A New Hope, this one takes place after Empire Strikes Back. So starting with a new #1, but it's not rebooting the continuity. It's just going to a different time placement. I think Charles Soule is really good in the Star Wars universe. His Darth Vader series, I don't know if anyone read it. It was really good. Like, it got better with each issue because the one before it, I really loved. And when Charles Soule picked it up, yeah, I loved that one. And then when Soule picked it up, I was like, okay, this is pretty good, but not as good as the previous one. Then it just got better and better and better, and it was really good. So I'm excited to see what he'll do. I think Soule's a pretty consistent writer. I wouldn't say he's like a great writer, even though with Darth Vader he did great. He's just a very consistent, like, okay, this is good. For most of his books, like, there's nothing really to complain about. There's nothing really to just say this is the best thing ever, not like Hawks and Pox or anything like that. But yeah, I think he's really good for the Star Wars universe, and I'm glad they got him on it. I think he'll do some good stuff with it, and I'm excited for it.
I am with you. I haven't bought a Star Wars comic in a very long time, except for the True Believers. I am 100% buying the Charles Soule Star Wars, man. I'm excited because his Vader was phenomenal.
It was great.
It was so
sold well.
And the time frame that they're going to between
Empire and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, it's a great time period. It hasn't really been explored all that much except for the expanded universe. I want to see Luke make his own lightsaber. I want to see how he finishes training. There's so much cool stuff that happens right in there that you can explore. I'm excited about this one.
The only thing that concerns me is the way that Disney is destroying Star Wars, the new trilogy. that's going to have a ripple effect on other Star Wars products. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm really concerned about the Star Wars universe going forward. From what I've seen of the Rise of Skywalker, they're just going to destroy. They're going to destroy the entire brand. And
Wow, they might have already done that.
Yeah.
They can't even sell toys. People aren't going to the theme.
No, they're not. And what is it? Oh my God, Galaxy's Edge right now. They said that attendance, is like 70% behind estimates that they from just 5 months ago. It's a nightmare. And I think that they've done permanent damage to Star Wars and the Star Wars brand, and they're going to keep going until it's completely worthless.
So yeah, even the games suck right now, right, Dylan?
Yeah, but hopefully we're getting a new game next month that actually looks pretty promising, which involves some characters from Soule's of Darth Vader run. It's so that looks pretty cool. But until then, it's weird. They sold the exclusive license to EA, when Disney first got the rights to Star Wars, and they've come out with 2 games since then. You think they would be pumping out Star Wars games, like these make so much money, but they're both like multiplayer only. One had a campaign that was terrible, like awful, and it's canon now, but it was terrible. It didn't really affect much with the main universe, but it was just awful. But hopefully Fallen Order's good. It looks pretty good at least. But yeah, I'm so excited for Soule. Did you see the 2 pages that he tweeted out for his run?
No.
I retweeted it the other day. It's so good. It's just showing the end of Empire when Vader cuts Luke's hand off. It looks so good.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much, much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.